Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Transformers Legacy United. This is Leader Class Sandstorm, and to be honest this is probably, apart from Swoop at the moment, my most anticipated figure of the year. It is looking spectacular. So in this video we're going to unbox him in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're going to have a detailed look at all three of the modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We are of course going to bring in Generation 1 Sandstorm and a couple of other figures that he's had in the Generations toy line, and we'll see how he looks and sizes up with some other figures in exactly the same toy line. So before we open him up, I need to thank In Demand Toys, because that's where I purchased this from, and as you can see they got it to me nice, quickly and safely. And we do really need to appreciate the amazing artwork on this box. It is absolutely stunning. So because he's packed in robot mode there, excuse me, you can see we've got the alternate modes, one above and one below it, and there's the beautiful Legacy United logo. That is the ever so familiar now Legacy United artwork. On the back we've got all three modes. I'm going to do tutorials for each of them rather than show you in the video to keep the length down. And there on the side we've got the full length artwork and indeed the bust in the corner. It just looks great. Right, what I'm going to do, oh it's all right, I'm just going to start to crack him open from here. So as I do this, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if they'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really does help me out. Right, let's carefully open this. You can see how blunt my Stanley knife is. It can't even cut through tape. Right, let's have a look at this. Actually, while I'm opening this up, what's people's thoughts about obviously getting the windows back in the boxes? Are they happy? Are they not? For me, it didn't really make too much difference because I open up all my figures now, and in all honesty it makes things easy for me because I can just flat pack them, whereas obviously with the ones with the plastic bubbles you can't flat pack them at all. Right, wow, that's pretty big actually. I know that makes a silly thing to say because it's a Leader Class figure, but sometimes you get a lot of packaging with a Leader Class figure. It feels really weighty as well. Instructions are hiding at the back. You can see it's quite funny there, they still tie him up in plastic tie wraps even though they've got rid of the plastic. What I'm going to do then is set him free from there and come right back to you. Okay, I've set him free from the packaging and already I'm massively impressed with this guy. We'll have a look at all the accessories that come with him in a second. The interesting thing is, and I think it's great, is we've got a G1 toy accurate gun and we've got an animation accurate gun. That is a brilliant little touch, and of course I'll be bringing in the original very soon. Right, the figure itself though, as I say, the reason why I'm impressed is because it feels nice and weighty. It feels nice and robust. I know I've not attached everything to it just yet. As I say, I've just literally taken it out of the packaging and I want to go through some first impressions with you. We will come back again later in the video with him in robot mode to see him attached with everything and how all of his accessories work. For now I just want to go through articulation. You can see this is on like a mushroom or a ball and socket, whatever, so it'll look up and down. It is slightly restricted. He will turn side to side as well, but it is hugely restricted by them tabs there. The face sculpt is great. It's a bit of a fusion, I think, between the toy and the animation because you've obviously got the nice blue eyes, but again I'll show you that in more detail with the original in a second. When you spin it round to the back, I wouldn't say it's too gappy. Yes, this does go in there of course, and it looks like this is going to fold over, but that probably makes it look even worse. That would obviously be for another mode when we get to it. So we've looked at the head sculpt. The shoulders will go out giving you a full T. They'll go around. They're slightly restricted by the backpack, but of course you can move them no problem. There's a swivel at the shoulder. There's like a double bicep bend by the looks of that. That's probably to do with transformation, but you can see what I mean. There's a hinge there and there's a hinge there. There is a wrist swivel. It's very stiff. There's no gaps there in the forearms, which is great, guys. You can do the same there. Oh, that comes a little bit loose. There's a tiny waist articulation rotation. It would do it, but of course it looks like it's heavily hindered by this backpack, which all honesty isn't that big. I was expecting it to be much bigger. It doesn't look too, yeah, it's not too out of place, it's not too overbearing. It clearly doesn't affect him balancing, so that's, I suppose, the most important part. Same with these bits on the back, because you can't see them and because there's no huge gaps. I've got no issues with that whatsoever. The legs will kick out to the sides. You can do full splits that way. You can come past 90 degrees there, of course, till it gets caught on the back, and then the same on this side. But with the knee bend in it, you can of course bend all the way back if you wanted to. You can already see on the side there that there's a swivel at the top of the thigh, there's a knee bend, there is an ankle, everything. So what I mean by that is you've got a pivot, a tilt, a rock, a toe tap, plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, all the correct terminology if you want to use it. There is loads of articulation in them ankles and indeed in them feet. So first impressions, stunning. Paint apps, amazing. Look at that, all the details in here. And the it looks like a grill, but it's not, it's just indentations. Autobot logo tampographed on, nice silver reflective paintwork on there. And the tires are, yeah, they're rubber. I remember them mentioning that in the live stream. They are rubber, which is great. They don't feel soft either, so hopefully they won't perish away in the future. And as I said, no real visible huge gaps from the back, which of course is a massive bonus. First impressions, stunning. Right, let's have a look at him in his buggy mode first then. Okay then, so here he is in his first alternate mode, and this is of course the Dune buggy. And I've got to confess, do you know what, I actually do really like this. Now usually in most Sandstorm figures, this is usually the weaker I suppose mode, but to be honest, I think it looks good. It's really big, you know, obviously with it being a leader class figure, I suppose as you'd expect to be, it is really big. There's your deluxe Jurassic Park Jeep. There is your really long deluxe drag strip, which I know obviously is a long deluxe, but this is a leader, so it's thick, it's robust, there's a lot going on. What I mean by thick, I suppose, is it's weighty and it's chunky rather than thick. Was probably the wrong choice of word, to be honest, but as I say, I like it, and this is as basic as it comes. What I mean by as basic as it comes is I can show you now we can attach loads of things to it. In fact, not just loads, we can attach all of his accessories to it, and to be honest, the attaching the accessories makes it look that even bit better. So what we've got here is we've got the winch, so make sure that you wrap this all the way up so it's nice and tight, and then you can pop this via that 5mm port into the back of this here, like so. That literally just fits nice and snug, and then you can see you've got a groove or some cutouts there either side, so you can then take the cage. This is so clever. Just pull it apart like so, and then this will slot very neatly other way around. So this is going to be the back. It's going to be like a roll cage, and again, whoever thought of doing this is just genius, because it just works. It just slots over, no problem whatsoever. You can then take this, and underneath you've got a 5mm I suppose hole there. You've got to line this cutout up there, so you don't want it with the holes showing. You're going to push that under there and just clip that over. If things pop out, just quite simply put them back in. You can then take the small animation gun and you can attach it to one of these, any one you want, and that will just hide that underneath there. And then you can take the main gun and you can attach that to the roof, and I'm pretty sure that is the way, yep, there you go, that it's looking on the back of the box, which of course it's a little bit different to the G1 toy, but it looks a lot like it. There's a brilliant homage to this, there really is. There's loads going on with this, and again, apologies for no transformation process on this video. That's because what I'm going to do is upload all 6 separate step individual videos. So, you know, because there's 3 modes, so you've got robot to buggy, buggy to helicopter, etc., helicopter to buggy, all the different ones. They're all going to be uploaded, so you can watch whichever ones you want at your leisure. If you want to watch any of them at all, if you don't want to, that's no problem, but they could also be used as a reference guide for the future. So the only thing I suppose that we're missing really is the chrome, which I'm not really bothered about, to be honest. And here's a crazy thing for you, even the G1 didn't have the rubber tires, it had the plastic. Maybe you could say that there's a couple of stickers missing, but to be honest, I'm not too fussed. I don't think they need loads of stickers, and it's very similar from the underside. I mean, I suppose if you wanted to, could you pop that side? I suppose you could, but it doesn't really make much difference. You can't see it underneath. Anyway, as I say, all the wheels go around, no problem whatsoever. As we found out in the first impressions, they are rubber. You could, if you wanted to. I mean, you don't have to. You could put this under one at the front. I don't think there's any other 5mm ports on the actual vehicle to, you know, attach loads of weapons and accessories. I imagine that you can attach a blast effect if you wanted to the gun, and the answer to that most definitely is yes. And of course that will spin around because it's just resting in a port. I haven't really got much more to say about this. As I said, I'm quite surprised at just how good it is. As I say, this is usually the weaker mode, and as I say, I can see on the box already that the helicopter's going to look fantastic. So if this is the weaker mode, then it's brilliant, and that's all I've got to say in it. Let's have a look now at the helicopter mode. So the final alternate mode, and again, as I pretty much predicted, this is definitely the best out of the two. It's so good. Everything on it is really good. I mean, apart from the really obvious things that you should get, which of course the rotor blades spin round no problem unassisted, same as on the tail. The detail on the front is fantastic. The front wheels of course still go around, and the back ones do. I think I've slightly changed the transformation. I turned that one the other way around, and it just keeps it that little bit higher up. Everything's tucked away quite neatly. I mean, yes, you can see his head underneath. If you try turning it around, it doesn't fit as flush. So I did try that in one of the transformations, but it doesn't work. But it is so far underneath, you've got to be really pedantic to let that, I suppose, bother you. Again, it does feel weighty, it does feel robust, it all clicks together really well, and it's just a great homage to the original Generation 1 figure, which you can see even down to the lines on the back of this there, which they pretty much copied themselves. As I say, so impressed with this. Even the transformation is very similar in with regards to, look, you've got the wheels at the front and they're just upright instead of folded over. Very clever, really is good. A perfect, as I say, homage to that particular figure. Before we look at other things, I want to show you that you can of course take all of the accessories now. Let me just grab his gun and everything else, which is funnily enough just behind all the other figures I've managed to get ready, like Astro Train and stuff. But what I want to show you first and foremost, I've just grabbed, fully enough, one of the Target Masters from the Thrilling 30 toy lineup. This will fit pretty much inside the cage, no issues whatsoever. So again, you've got the play factor, you've got the fun, you know, it's a rescue helicopter, and there you go, you can actually rescue it. So you pop this little winch on the top, you can probably get some not core class, and then this will fit into the bottom of there, or at the back. To be honest, there's a couple of places where you can put it. Yeah, as I say, I think predominantly it is supposed to go here by the looks of it. That's what it looks like on the back of the box, and indeed on the instructions. And there you go, you know, as I say, it looks okay. Not the core class, like the cassette bots, I would imagine you could get to fit in there quite easily. I just saw him, and with the colour scheme, I thought that'd look really good, and it goes quite well. You could, I'll just very quickly show you if you wanted to. It really holds everything in nice and stiff. If you wanted to, you could attach that to the back. Doesn't look anywhere near as good, but again, suits the same purpose. The guns which we've got is of course the original, sorry, the one based on the original figure. You can pop this. If you pop one at the back and then the little one at the front, they're sort of near enough about the same length in there. So when you put the blast effects on, they look that little bit better, if you know what I mean. They don't look completely misplaced. So I think, again, that looks great. It works really well. But again, you don't have to do any of this. You can, of course, leave these. They won't attach and stay, I don't think. I'm just saying that. Let me just see if it will fit in. No, you're not going to get that to fit there. You can, again, as I say, attach it to the back, but it isn't going to really fit there. Right, let's move these out of the way. Let's bring in a couple of size comparisons. There, of course, is the Stranger Things. Not a Jeep, it's not a Jeep at all. It's the Stranger Things van. The Jurassic Park Jeep is there. The really long, as I always use, drag strip is there. Do you know what? I'm trying to think of other good things. Well, not other good things, other things that you need to know about it. So say the rubber's wheel, the tyres are rubber. I've told you that already. These spin round independently, and that's another cool thing. You know, everything does work really well with it. These bonus little play features are something that of course didn't and they weren't with the G1 figure at all, and again, they didn't really need it back then, but the fact that they've got these as a bonus, and I think it solely was intended just to be just the roll cage, but they've made it work so very well with regards to the rest of the figure. Right, one more thing to do then. Let's get him back in his robot mode, bring in some other bots and see how he looks and compares to them. Okay then, back for the final time with him in his robot mode. This is 100% the way I'm going to be displaying him, even though the other two modes are in fact very, very good. So we've got this attached, which we didn't have at the beginning. And again, we can then attach any of the guns. On the back of the box, he is in fact using both. You can see that there. So let's just try and replicate that very quickly. These will fit, he says, should fit straight into his hands. I mean, look at all the 5mm ports all over the side of this. So I mean, you could probably armorize him up completely. Really, really good. So I would imagine, and I'm sure Bob Ender could do some crazy things with this guy as well. The only negative, and it is a real tiny nitpick, is when you move these around a little bit. See, that comes off there. I mean, that's the teeniest bit of negativity that I've got to say with any of this. There's nothing else bad I want to say about it at all. Looking at that, I suppose if you wanted to, oh, and the front comes down. See, if you wanted to, you could perhaps store all these guns. I would think so, looking at this. At the back, that may or may not be in the instructions, I'm not too sure. I've just seen it as I'm doing this, but again, I have no idea why you'd want to store them while they're in robot mode. I always put all the accessories, if I can, in their hands whilst in robot mode. Now I've still got him in there, bless him. But again, just to show you that you can, you know, utilize this, he can carry that around. He's completely rescued him, which is great with him being a rescue helicopter. I did forget to say, I'm sure in the last part as well, I can totally see this mold, or at least that helicopter part, being used as a blackout figure in the future, because it just looked exactly like that, in honesty. Right, very quickly, there is the Generation 1 Sandstorm, which... there we go. I was going to say the issue with this is the figures, the feet, sometimes the legs slide down, which is quite ironic because obviously this has got the same sort of things with the sliding legs. So again, that's whether it's a homage, whether it's intentional or not, I don't know. But as I say, that's the main issue with any G1 Sandstorm figure. So there's a couple of G1 figures just to give you an idea of size and scale with regards to that. And again, just so you can see how well they've done, they had their stickers there. This is of course deco, and again the wheels on the side, the wheels at the back. It's, you know, it's not a carbon copy, but it's a much improved and updated version, to be honest. Right, until I get my Earthrise Optimus Prime out of the box, this is going to be the one I'm going to use just for now for robot mode. It's pretty much the same, it's just the Netflix version. And of course, we're going to bring in Springer. Now, we've got already 2 versions of this mold. It's going to be interesting to see exactly if they change it or if they do any more to get him along with or to update him, shall we say, because yeah, the Siege mold, now we're talking 6 years, which is insane to even think that or even say that out loud. Can't believe how fast the time's gone. Now I know he's got his extra big boots on, there you go, but there is Astro Train. So again, all we need is Broadside and Octane. I hope they can call him Octane. I'm pretty sure they've got the name rights back again, which is great if they have. Let's move him out of the way, and then let's bring in I'm gonna say it, probably one of the weakest versions. In fact, there's not many versions of Sandstorm, but this guy is, I can't even get him to stand. It's definitely one of the weakest versions, but that's purely because my heart lies with G1, whereas this is the IDW version. I'm sure, but when I get around to reading all the IDW comics, my opinion will change. But this is an old Voyager class figure, so that gives you an idea, I suppose, of how things have changed, how figures have changed, their sizes, etc. This is of course a modern day Voyager, but again, I fully understand that what with this you get, you're basically paying for the engineering and the articulation and stuff that goes inside of it. So this is quite a hollow figure. It doesn't feel as heavy as this one, even though it's much bigger. With regards to some other figures in exactly the same toy line, just to give you an idea of what they look like. So funnily enough, here's a couple of Voyager class figures to bring them in. And then funnily enough, just because he's there, nothing to do with that, just again to give you an idea, of scale and size, that's an MP hoist there. So obviously nowhere near masterpiece scale, but again, scales really well with these. That's the one thing that you can't knock Hasbro for at the moment, is they're making all these figures scale really well together, especially in the robot modes. Let's bring in a few others. What else have we got here? So there you go. As I say, that's pretty much it. Hope I've covered all bases with regards to this. The articulation, as I say, is on point. He just looks great. He's totally surprised me how good each mode has been. absolute bonus with the rubber tires. The accessories obviously are great because you can do a couple of things. I think I even read somebody said that this might be like, was it a welding arm or something? I'm not too sure, but for me it definitely looks like the animation gun that he's got. And as I say, that is a brilliant homage there to the original. So that's the only negative, this bit here in the shoulders, but I'm sure it won't hinder too many people with their opinion on it as well. As I said, of course, with all the 5mm ports, you can attach loads of other guns to it. I've always got my trusty drag strip guns, etc. To the side. I've got a couple of others actually. I've got some G1 land cross guns as well. These will all fit in anything that's 5mm port. So again, you can have a great time with your imagination completely powering this guy up. There we go, nothing more to say about him. He is amazing. He is definitely, as I said at the very beginning, all that time ago now, he was, up until Swoop, my most anticipated figure of the year. However, this is my most anticipated figure I've got in hands, and it definitely didn't let me down. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. I imagine most of you got him already. If not, has this video helped with your decision to get him? Thanks for watching. Take care.